Hello everyone, myself Anandkumar Maurya. I am pursuing Masters in Construction Engineering and Management from SEPT University. Here I am presenting the studio work in my semester 2, which is based on the execution monitoring and control for a multi-speciality hospital construction project. So let's go for the project brief in next slide. Following is the project brief of this site. The type of project is Greenfield Healthcare Infrastructure Project. Building is having the total built up area of 30,380 kilometer, and the number of floors are 3 basement, ground floor and 13 floors, total of 17 floors and with a height of 55 meters. The project is situated from Gandhinagar at 13 kilometer and from Ahmedabad it is 23 kilometer near the bank of the river. The project cost total is 340 crore approx, in which the civil work cost of this construction work, which is core and shell civil work, which is 180 crore rupees. The contract is item rate contract and the contract duration is 18 months from commencing from the March 2023 to uh, end at the duration of the September 2024. The site context shows that the boundary of this site and then nearby the 6 meter double lane road and around the garden and the entry and exit point toward the east direction of the road which connect to the National Highway 48. Further, we go for the tools of quality in the quality management of the construction quality management. A robust quality management system utilizes various tools to proactively identify, prevent, and address potential issues throughout the project lifecycle. Following are the seven tools of quality are suggested by the Dr. Kuro Ishikawa in 1968. Checklist, histogram, Pareto chart, fishbone diagram, control chart, flow chart, and scatter diagram. Here we are showing the control chart analysis for the M30 grade of concrete cube 30 samples. The control chart is a graph that is used to examine process variation. There are many type of control chart. When an unstable pattern of variation arises, a control chart is utilized for the distinguishing it from a stable pattern. An upper and lower control limit are shown in the chart that follows a certain measurement with the time. If the measurement falls outside these limits, it might indicate a quality issue that needs investigation. Here we are showing the 7 days and 28 days of M30 grade concrete cube control chart, where the red dots in the control chart showing the uppermost and lowest results of the cube. In 7 days control chart, formulas for the 7 days control chart, it is for the x bar upper control limit is the 26 Newton per mm square and lower control limit is 22.11 Newton per mm square. And based on the IS 456, for targeted strength for the M30 is 38.25 Newton per mm square, and for the 7 days its 60% strength should be 22.95 Newton per mm square. And according to it, IS code limit variation allowed to the plus 15% and minus 15% of the targeted strength, where it is the 26.39 and 19.51 for the 7 days of the cube and 43.99 and 32.51 upper control limit and lower control limit respectively for the 28 days of compressive strength. Here the results are lying between the line of the IS code limit and with an average of 24.08 Newton per mm square. The result shows that big variation in big range in variation of the result shows the inconsistency in the quality results, where the low variation in the results shows the consistent quality control. Here also we can infer that the our results of the 7 days cubes are coming between the 18% of the range, which is suitable for the 28 days slab cycle, as deshuttering will can be allowed within 10 to 12 days of the duration. Here is the second tools of quality, which is Ishikawa diagram, also called as fishbone diagram and cause and effect diagram. This tool helps in brainstorm the root cause of the quality issues. The issue is represented by the head where the potential contributing factor are shown in the branches, giving the impression of the fish skeleton. Here the non-conformity was found at the site where the 15 to 20 mm bulging in the beam and column junction, where the beam depth was the 900 mm depth. So this analysis shows these points shows the in five major category: material management, method, machinery, and manpower, where the following are the causes of the non-conformity. In management, it could be the poor inspection, insufficient supervision, work completed in hurriedly because it is done at the night time. The in methodology, it is concrete pouring at the night time, improper concrete pouring at the pouring at the 900 depth of the concrete, pouring at once time in with a high impact, which given the impact on the bottom of the shuttering, excess use of vibrator, insufficient support for the shuttering. For all of the point and analysis, we can find the root cause of the problem is the insufficient support for the shuttering, and subsequently the effect of the improper concrete pouring resulting in the non-conformity. The preventive measure could be the providing sufficient support for the considering beam depth. Uh, as per the extra beam depth, we can give the extra support for the formwork. Train workmen for such failure and its preventive method. Improved supervision. The inference shows that the NC, the root cause for the NC is the insufficient support for the shuttering and improper concrete. Floor planning is essential to prepare an effective project schedule to complete a project within a given duration, and also help in managing the resources like money, manpower, and machinery according to the schedule of the project. And four, planning. Here in this project, there are in our scope the division of the ground floor roof slab is done in the four pour 1, pour 2, pour 3, and pour 4. The areas of the pour are given in this table. Here we have done a cost analysis for the reinforcement cost of the pour 1 quantity, which is 49.01 metric ton. So for the material cost analysis, we have considered the material cost, basic material cost, wastage of 2.5%. Here is the in this project using the coupler for the columns. We consider the coupler cost, binding wire cost used in the reinforcement binding, cover blocks used, and PVC caps for the threading of the after threading for the coupling, where the material cost comes to the 63,488 for per metric ton. For machinery cost, here the at project one crane is hired of the 45 meter of the boom length, which is monthly rent is 2 lakh rupees. The total cost per metric tons comes to the 185 rupees for the 49.01 metric ton for the duration of the pour one completion. For manpower cost, the manpower of 642 laborers were man days were assigned, and for fitter and fitter helper 234 man days is assigned, which is the labor cost comes to the 7,735 rupees per metric ton. The total cost of the 71,409 rupees per metric ton coming for the reinforcement work at the pour one of the ground floor roof slab. Here for the quantity of the pour one, we have considered the we have prepared the BBS for the pour one, which is coming the 58 kilogram per meter square of the coefficient. As the ground basement building are bulkier in the structural part, it is provided the 10% more coefficient, and the above fourth floor the building is becoming the lighter and the typical floors are coming up to the 13th floor, which is where the 10% of the coefficient is decreased, which is 52 kg per meter square. Further in reinforcement planning, here we have done the comparison analysis of the coupling versus lapping cost of the 232 numbers of the joint of the 20 bars in 20 bar quantity in pour 1 of the ground floor roof slab. Here for coupling cost, we have considered the material cost of the coupler, coupling labor cost, threading labor cost, PVC cap for the threading, which is coming the total to the 23,896 at 103 rupees per joint, where in the for the lapping cost the weight of the steel length of the steel coming for used for the lapping is 573.04 kgs, which coming total cost also including with the binding wire main days used for the joggles and lapping of the bars, which is total comes to the 42,102 rupees, and the cost per lapping comes to the 181 rupees. Here we can see the significant difference only in the cost of the material, where the 12,000 costing comes in the coupling cost, where the 35,000 cost of the material is costing us to in the lapping of the joint, where the 10 where coupling of the jointing the reinforcement with the couplers are beneficial for the project. Here the peak requirement for the reinforcement based on the pour planning, the pour schedule of the entire project has been created. So the multiple maximum number of pours are casted in the month of the February 2024, which is have the total quantity of the 296.25 metric ton, which shows the maximum peak requirement of the reinforcement for the cycle of the project. And for the labor quantity, labor productivity analysis for the pour one, the main days workmen used and the total main days of 378 main days, the quantity of 49.01 metric ton. The productivity comes to the 10.80 kg per man hour. It is also equal to the 129.6 kg per man day. Material management is an essential part of the project management. The material management helps in the saving in the cost of the storage of the material, excess storage, extra cost, and also the wastage, reduce the wastage of the material. The efficient material management can be helped based on the EOQ models. Here we are showing the classical EOQ model for the steel procurement, where the EOQ is the economic order quantity, the optimal quantity of the order that minimize variable cost required to order the and hold the inventory. The following assumption has been taken for the calculation of this classical EOQ model, where the carrying cost is taken as the 5% of the steel cost, stock out cost is taken as the 20% of the steel cost, and the total days of year assumed as the 300 working days for calculating the EOQ. The following table shows the all calculation for the all cost for the procurement, where the total cost comes to the 15 crore 74 lakh 18,682 rupees for the project of the quantity of the 2276 metric ton for the entire project. This graph shows the uh, carrying cost and ordering cost line, and the above is the cumulative line for the both cost, where the uh, 52.16 is the EOQ point. It is the quantity of the EOQ 52.16, where is the break even point, and the total of the both cost is the lowest at this point, which is 1,80,000 and 175 rupees. Here we can see the carrying cost. As far as the carrying cost increases, the ordering cost of that order is decreased. We order the highest amount of the material, so the order for per metric ton will be decreased. And if we order for the low amount of the material, the order cost for the per metric ton will be increased, as per we can infer from this graph. Here is the second model of the EOQ, which is plant shortage model. Here we can plan of the reordering the quantity and the quantity of the order which should be ordered for the optimal management of the material of the reinforcement based on the shortage based on the feasible shortage of the material in number of days. The following calculation of the table shows us the EOQ is the 58.32 tons, whereas the optimal storage shortage level is the 11.66 ton, and the maximum inventory can be done up to the 46.65 tons. So the and based on the working days of 345 days on site, it is considered to be the consumption of the total 2276 tonnage of the steel. 6.60 tons of the steel is used per day. So based on this all calculation, the uh, the usage of the steel schedule is prepared, whereas the on first day it would be the 46.65 tonnage of the steel in the inventory, and on the seventh day on eighth day it will be go to the shortage of the 6.12 metric ton, where on the same day the inventory will be refilled and the shortage will be countered with the reordered quantity. The reordered quantity should be done though the maximum inventory level of the 46.65 metric ton plus the shortage level, which is 6.12 metric ton, which is coming to the total of the 52.76 metric ton. And this is the shortage period is coming in the one day, and the inventory period is 7 days. So we have to re-order the quantity before the 7 days of the more than the 7 days before of the empty being the shortage of the date. Project risk management helps in the identifies the risk related to the project and gives the idea to the project manager the successful and the status of the project regarding its success and status regarding its completion, duration, and related to cost. Following are the 22 numbers of risk identified related to the EHS risk, construction risk, and layout of the site risk, where the include the wastage of the material, short circuit risk, change in scope of the work, quality risk. Here, before the mitigation plan matrix shows the six numbers of the risk coming in the severe risk category, which is after the post mitigation measures, which where the risk scoring and severity decreases after the mitigation measure has been taken. The five numbers of the severe risk considerably decrease to the medium number of the severity. And the cost distribution graph in Primavera analysis shows the based on the risk assigned to the activity for the scope of the work taken for the third floor pour one, which total cost can be with the minimum number of the risk is total is 5 crore 74 lakh 25,000, and with the higher occurrence of the risk it could be go up to the 5 lakh 78,000, where the current status of the risk which it shows the deterministic cost at the current stage, which is the yellow arrow shows here in the graph. It is showing that the 5 crore 75 lakh cost for the 38% of the occurrence of the risk at the current stage. And there are also two lines showing the 50% probability and 80% probability cost, where if the 80% of the probability that assigned task to be completed by the cost, it could be completed within the 5 lakh 5 crore 76 lakh, and with the 80% of the probability to completion of the activity within completion of the activity assigned, it could be completed within 5 crore 76 lakh. In order to minimize the uncertainty for both parties during the project execution, a solid construction contract lays out a project scope in much detail as feasible. This type of contract usually delivers the several agreement outlined in different project components, such as who will responsible for what takes, the timeline, milestone, and payment terms, among the things. The good contract administration can enhance the success of the project. Here we are showing the RA bill process and claim management process given in the contract of this project. The RA bill process is done at the month of the every at the end of the every month, and it should be submitted on or before the 25th of every month. The review by the PMC project head would be done within the 5 days, and if the as it is accepted, it should be certified the bill by the PMC. And if there is the modification they have to done, they have to solve the query with the contractor, and the solution should be done within the 5 days, and modification would be done, and the further certification of bill would be done at the end of the 5 days. After the certification of the RA bill, which is also called the certification of the payment, interim payment certification, the release of the payment from the client will be released within the 30 days of the certification of the bill. So the RA bill is stated in the payment term clause, which include the due dates and payment methods. The contractor receive the payment of the invoiced amount minus any retention or deduction as per the contract term. The claim management process shows that any claim or dispute resolution process where the contractor or planning engineer, contractor's planning engineer identifies the claims, notifies to the PMC within 28 days of the within the with the supporting document. Inspection of the claim by the PMC is done, and the decision on that submission of the claim is done on the 15 days after the submission. Here, if it is accepted within the 15 days, the client would pay the time extension or monetary claim as required the type of the claim. The payment would be done in 30 days after the within the request submission. And if PMC is not accepting the claim, the settlement with the contractor is done within the 30 days of the submission of the date of the claim. If it is satisfied to the contractor, the payment would be done after the 15 days of the settlement. And if it is not satisfied the contractor again, so the contractor can go for the dispute resolution process as per the arbitration, reconciliation, or the law court of the law. The effective claim management require open communication, collaboration, and a commitment to the resolving dispute in a fair and timely manner, thereby minimizing project delays, cost overrun, and disruption to the contractual relationship. In claim management, the contractor can claim the delays of the project, which is give the time delay, extension of the time, and also the damage of the any part of the extra work, damage of the any scope of the project due to external factors, the force major factors, the weather factors. These all factors can be claimed under the claim management process. For the conclusion of these all exercises in the part of the construction project execution, monitoring, and control, following are the key learning of the exercises we have done above. The tools of quality, we saw the various techniques related to quality management and the measures taken by the contractor to maintain the uh, quality standard. Various tools related to quality are explored. The root cause and the non-conformities are found, and its control chart and the Ishikawa diagram has analysis has been done. In material management, the procurement process for all major material like steel, cement, and RNC is studied. The database and the format related to material procurement, issue, and other related activity is understood. The lead time calculation for the different material is formulated, which is very important parameter which shall be looked upon to get the material timely at the site. Lastly, ABC and HML analysis for the material management is studied. Contract administration, the contract is thoroughly evaluated to the understand the project needs. FIDIC Red Book and project control contract rule are compared, and the procedure for claim management as well as their timeline are studied. A time delay analysis is also understood in this deliverable. It is conducted based on the site's observation followed by an impact of assessment on the project schedule. In the part of the project risk management, construction project may be more effectively identify, evaluate and manage risk by incorporating project risk management into the Primavera basics, which improve the project result and adds the value to the stakeholder and helps the project manager on the decision making related to the status of their project success. Thank you.